All right, everybody, welcome back to the channel. We finally got it. Storm's tier 3 and uniform is here in game after a little bit of a delay on during the patch, whatever. Yeah, it's rolling, but there's a lot of people that didn't get it. But it took about an hour or so, but we're here, we're in game. So let's kind of take a look. We've been reviewing it across a couple of streams, content creators, and stuff like that. So I will kind of go review what we've seen. We want to go through the skills a little bit and potential rotations and stuff like that. I want to say that her skills look amazing, right? The 5 skill is a little lackluster. All it does is create these tornadoes, but when you're actually in game, it looks great because when you hit all these other skills, it looks amazing. Sort of that mega level tier. She's got so many things going on. Her eyes are glowing back there. It looks great on screen. It looks great when she's fighting the boss. Looks fantastic in GBR. Her tier 3 looks amazing. Even though it may be an animation duplicate, it might be the same animation as some of the other characters. But it's fun. It looks cool, right? It looks like every way it should be. It's got all the weathers, everything you picture for the 90s Storm. She's got it going on here. So hail, blizzard, lightning. She doesn't kind of bring anything other elements into her kit, but that's kind of all you need. She's really kind of destroying things here. In terms of what we've seen, all the other content creators and stuff like that, people that have been tested have been easily hitting things like 50, 60, 70 with her without strikers. Every now and again, I do see folks bringing anti-venom for a little bit of survivability. So let's kind of dive a little bit deeper into sort of where that comes from. If you look at her other uniform bonuses, they don't have this accumulation stack, so that kind of makes it almost like if you want any improvement out of the character, this is the uniform that you would get. It's a massive upgrade over her X-Men Red uniform because there's really nothing here. But one of her problems that they never solved was essentially the survivability, more or less, issue. In her 5th skill, she does have some immunity. That also shows up in her, sorry, not her 5th skill, her ultimate skill has a little bit of immunity. From the patch notes to what we see in game, the 1 skill does drop a second of paralysis. So that's worth noting. That isn't as OP as before. Before this cooldown, 50% of this cooldown is 3.5 seconds. If it was a full 3 seconds on the paralysis, that means there's about a half second in there for the boss to really kind of do anything. They changed it. Now it's 2 seconds, probably too overpowered. But that's kind of what we got on skill changes in terms of that end of the character itself. One of the things that a lot of content creators are complaining about, having some issues with, is her ability to be guard broken. She's nearly guard broken on every single video that I've seen, except for the characters that have immune to guard break, as well as anybody that uses a Nick Fury as a support, because in his skill, his tier 2 passive, he has super armor, which also provides the immune to guard break. So that ends up being the case of, what's her ideal team up look like? Probably Nick Fury has to be on the team. The natural inclination when Fury is on the team is to put him in lead position because it gives him the 50% all attack. But a lot of folks have been bringing Dr. Voodoo because of the debuff, because of the increase in debuffs in his leadership ability itself. That 40% then takes her 60% that's normally on her stats, or on her kit, pushes that from 60% into 84%. So lots of damage. No wonder they didn't take the 100% defense down that was originally there, and they nerfed it down to 60 because I had 100% plus something like for an additional 40% would be vastly overpowered. She ends up being more or less a glass cannon, from what a lot of content creators have been pushing out. She can clear, we've seen clears of 99, 90, 85. All high levels are being done with and without strikers. The only caveat is that a lot of them are being guard broken. So it's kind of like we need something to kind of shore up that defense. If you don't have Voodoo, if you don't have Fury, other team ups that would be beneficial for her, probably folks like White Fox. White Fox is probably going to be, because she has the same debuff ability. Enchantress, another one. The only caveat with White Fox is you don't get the ability from leadership. One of the abilities for her, one of these little details here, she keeps command and she keeps lightning, but she does not get anything additional like leadership or which would be beneficial to that White Fox ability. So she does not, she keeps these, retains these two, she doesn't get anything more or anything less from that. So that's kind of a little unfortunate, but it is what it is. We'll kind of have to deal with it. In terms of what we get from GBR, she does have some pretty fast clears. At tier 2 isn't that much vastly different than tier 3. What we are seeing though is a big upgrade on those that use CTPs versus those that don't. So if you look at some of the CTPs that a lot of folks have, the top ranked storms are all going to be bringing Rage with them. So that's worthy of notes. They nearly all have Rage. I think the first person that doesn't has a Destruction, which is interesting to bring Destruction simply because she doesn't really seem like she has any PvP potential at all. She doesn't have very, very long iframes. She gets guard broken very, very quickly. So bringing a CTP of Destruction, you get that in a guard break immunity, but she will get kind of punished on all the other skills, not having the iframes. So that makes it a little bit tough. A lot of folks have been asking about Judgment. Judgment obviously makes the rotation a little bit easier. Oh, that's interesting. Did you see that? Let's see if I can recreate it. Oh yeah, that's a visual bug. She doesn't have her lightning ball in this little icon. Anyway, so when she does have a CTP of Judgment, obviously the chain hit damage is fantastic. The nice thing about the Judgment is that it's damage over a period of time, so you're not waiting for a proc necessarily. You can play very, very loosely, so to speak, because you're essentially not having to wait for a proc to land on a specific skill, since there are so many hits sort of everywhere, and you want to use the one skill, you want to use the one skill has the paralysis, you want to use the 2 skill, you want to use the 3 skill, you want to use all those other abilities, you want to be canceling. So yes, in terms of order, I think Rage is obviously going to be number 1. Number 2, you're probably looking at either Energy or Judgment, depending on how well you play. If you can hit the proc on Energy very, very consistently, then Energy will outperform Judgment any day of the week. But it'll be interesting to see what a regular Obelisk can do. A lot of regular Obelisks are... oh, this is CTP of Authority. That's interesting. She gives her invincibility for that survivability. Accumulation, that's probably not a good... It's probably not a good stat. But yeah, it's... Overall, I think for a lot of players, if you're a big fan, if you want somebody that clears Ebony very, very easily, but might have a little bit of frustration, it's a teeter-totter, right? Like if you like Storm, if you think if you're a big fan, then absolutely get her uniform. It's a massive upgrade on any of the previous uniforms that she had before. I don't think I will be doing it this time around, simply because I don't have the Rage to give her that she apparently sorely needs. I don't have a spare energy to try her out on. I'm already waiting for a Judgment for my beta ray bill. So I will probably skip out on this one. It doesn't look like a must buy for me because it doesn't look like she'll do very much of the two-way content that I want my roster to be able to do. Looks like she's going to be very, very high Shadowland, absolutely. Very, very high world boss, great. But not a whole lot in the PvP sector. So I would rather buy a uniform for, say, something like Hulk, or save it for another two-way character that'll do stuff that I need them to do in the game. So, like I said, probably going to skip out on this one, but let me know what you guys think. What have you guys seen? Like I said, lots of high-level clearing, but ultimately she may just be a glass cannon. That's a little unfortunate, given that she's an Omega level mutant, but it's kind of in line. Got to sell more great costumes, more uniforms. I wish the accumulation wasn't on the uniform effect. I wish it was just maybe on the 5th skill or something like that, but kind of comes with the territory. It would have been nice if it was on, like, I don't know, the 5th skill. 5th skill would have been nice, because then as those tornadoes are whirling, it's very, very in line that they would do more damage over time. So that'd be cool, but alas, that ends up not to be. So I probably will, like I said, skip out on this one. But let me know what you guys think. Let me know what else you guys are seeing. Lots of immune guard breaks, I think, but we'll see if there's any other ways to fix that. Thanks again for checking out the channel, watching the video. Appreciate it. Comments, likes, awesome. Subscribe, feel free. And I would catch you guys next time. As I see other content creators, anything interesting for her, I'll probably tweet it out, share it, and go from there. All right? Thanks again. Appreciate it. I'll see you guys next time. Until then, be safe, be well.
Peace.